All right. Hello, collective. It's been a minute since I've been live, but we're gonna go live. Spirit. I just been getting the call for the past since yesterday, really, to do a reading, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'll go live and do it. And then today is the day it's coming into action. But I hope you all have been doing well, feeling blessed, highly favored. I know the wintertime, especially after all the holiday feasts and stuff, can definitely affect the body. So hopefully no one's feeling sick. Hopefully the temperature isn't too cold for anyone, or y'all are staying warm and all that good stuff. But welcome into a reading when y'all get in here. I love all of y'all, and we're gonna jump in. I don't know how this reading is gonna go, but we're just gonna jump into it. Just letting spirit guide. So what's going on? What does the collective need to know? Nice. I put this back. Okay. Hold up. What's going on, spirit? Who's coming out? Okay. Okay. So we have endings reverse and karmic film reverse, so that's good. So there's beginnings happening for, and this I have, okay, this is fun. So with this karmic film reverse energy, I instantly picked up there's something about a beginning of nurturing, or that there is something on the horizon beginning for you. And I'm finally okay. So I felt called to tell you all this as well. So we're gonna talk about it because it came up heavily. Um, about say like a week ago, I was joking with myself about a bird flying through the window because I keep the window open. I like it when it's a little cold. But I was like, a bird's gonna fly through the window, and then I had a dream about the bird flying through a window, and then yesterday a bird flew through the window, and that gave me a really big confirmation of a new beginning, and that was pretty fun. I I got the bird. It was kind of scared, but we got it out safely. It was fun. But there's something about there is like a brand new beginning, and it feels like it's not necessarily on the horizon. This is definitely something you've received a sign for already, or you've been feeling the increase of energy around you for this beginning, but it's happening because of some form of nourishment. This nourishment could even be nurturing something new, taking your attention away from one situation and focusing on another. That's allowing something to move quicker throughout like your life in that area. So it could be like I'm picking up moving. I have immature, yeah. So immature man, thief reverse. I said immature man. It's mature man reverse, and then family reverse. Yeah. So it's something about. Hmm. This is interesting. This is like your meet. Okay. For some of you, this new beginning is going to involve having people help you out that aren't necessarily part of your soul family. But these are, and it's like, it's for some of you, it's the start of building up trust again, is how I'm feeling it heavily. Like building up a trust within strangers, not thinking that strangers are going to steal from you. Maybe even repeating a pattern that happened in the past. Maybe in the past you had someone help you. Like let's say you need a place, like you need to ride somewhere or something, right? And in the past you had someone that said, "Oh, if you ever need anything, let me know, and I'll be sure to take you," or whatever, right? It's like that sort of cycle is happening again, but it's to signify that you're on a new path, that you're in a new energy. Even though it's a similar, this is the same energy as the reading I did, where it was like a similar ending, but a new beginning. It's kind of given that energy. You're seeing like a mirrored reality, if that makes sense. Like you're going literally parallel with something that's happened in the past, but it's to show you how grown you are. Like you're actually making it past that milestone. You're making it past that test. Is how it's coming out. But with family reverse is and it's again, it's not saying that there's a bad family. It's like you're gaining things from people who aren't necessarily part of like your family, or people you wouldn't necessarily deem being your family. These people might remind you of family, something along that line. But it has a lot to do with like this part of you that needs to grow, this immature part. And immature just means not mature, not grown, not flourished yet. There's this part of you that hasn't grown yet because you've lacked some form of foundation. Maybe you've lacked this family, so-called. Maybe these family are clients in a sense. Maybe these family members are people coming in for your business for. However, that wasn't coming in within a past cycle that's happened, but you're going through this past cycle again. And I just heard while saying that, you let your unknown, like the fact that some people don't know you, the fact that these people don't know you, don't hide yourself from them. Allow yourself to be fully open, because it's going to give you more opportunities. Ask and you'll receive. And a lot of people, especially if you own like a business or are on the path of having a business or looking for business partners, or just looking to get your foot in the door of like a new hobby or however, don't be afraid to express who you are. Let your unknown, let your curiosity run wild. Let yourself be in a less judgmental area within yourself, because there's a lot of people that are coming in that are here to like give, a thief in reverse. They're here to give you things that you may have lost. Maybe you lost a connection with like a soul family thing, or you lost connection with people that were supportive around you with family reverse, because you could just be talking about support as well. You might have lost that from a past cycle, but that's coming back to you now to like boost you up. It's the difference of someone going, oh yeah, I'll support you, lying about it and not telling anyone about your business. Now you're coming into people who are actually like, you know what, I'll tell people about your business. It's this energy. You're meeting people that, even though you might not see them as soul family, however, they like and reciprocate your energy that you give, and they're there to help you despite you really wanting it and or directly asking for it. You know what I mean? More people are, it's like, it's about your energy. It's getting brighter. And when I say brighter, it went from like a red to like a yellow orange. So it's something, you're moving from like this root chakra of fear, this bottom, this low vibration energy, to a more higher energy where you're becoming more creative. This could be people who didn't want your creative side to be seen, so they kept you in one pocket. Um, and you're breaking free of that pocket right now. And again, I feel like this is all this maturity that you're giving, a lot of this maturity that you're needing to have, a lot of this maturity that you're breaking through with, comes from um, a lack of support, or just people lying to your face about what they're going to do. Like, oh, you can always hang out with me, I'll always be available. But the way that they speak about it makes you think that they're always going to be. And it's like you're done with the fake words. You want like what's actually happening. And you're meeting the people that are there to show you what's actually happening. There's no more um, dissonance between what someone's saying and what they're meaning with these new people that are coming into your life. And again, even if you don't really deem them to like be part of like a friend for you, or however, like you don't really want to get close with them, they're still supporting you. These are like supporters, like full on people who are wanting to support you. Even if you don't have like a business or anything, you're meeting people that are like either emotionally supporting you, or energetically supporting you in some form of way or fashion, where they're not beating you down. They're just allowing you to walk your path, and either giving advice and or um helping you like break that bubble. And it's like, if you don't like talking to people, you're meeting people who also don't like to talk to people. But you pick up on that energy of, oh, that person isn't talking as much, or maybe I should talk to that individual. These thoughts are coming up, and now you're being more active with talking. Like, you know what I mean? You're being pushed out of that bubble. And it's very interesting the way that the divine's doing it, the way that it's coming out, because it's sly. It's very slick and sly. It's very slick and sly. Because it's not like you're actively wanting to reach out for some of you. Some of you are just walking into people, and it's like, it's the, what is it called? The elevator theory, where you only have like 30 seconds to strike up a conversation or to say something in an elevator or whatever. You know what I mean? Like that situation. It's like you're going into these small situations where like the dead silence isn't needed, and you're aware of it. And even though it doesn't bother you that it's there, you're still wanting to talk or just fill up the space or spread that good energy. So now you're doing that more. They're getting you ready for a full-on, fledged-out leaving of this bubble space, of this energy where you've been so bashful or afraid. And you just might be a very low-key individual, just a very introverted, there we go, introverted individual that doesn't like to bring too much attention to yourself, but you also know that like you just gravitate towards attention naturally just because of who you are. And it's less of pushing that attention away and more trying to maneuver around it so that you don't have to fight as much. You're finding an easier path, an easier flow to get into with it, which is really good. Thank you for the confirmations. I hope a bird does not fly in here again, because that, I mean, honestly, that'd be kind of funny. They're flying out there, though. After I said that, there was a little chirp that happened, so this is definitely... And this might, with the child reverse and Ice Queen reverse, this really could be family trauma that you're healing as well. Like, this might be literal, like, mother, sister, or just a very aggressive feminine energy. Maybe you were very protected as a child and grew up with a lot of anxiety and fear of doing the wrong thing. But there's this inner child that's growing up inside of you. It's becoming less scared. It's knowing what it wants to do. It's stepping out in new shoes, basically. And it's not being nurtured by fear. It's not being pushed away or harbored away in a box due to fear or wrong words, or a fear of intention. You know what I mean? And again, if this is like a family childhood issue, it's mainly because of the females in the family, or the feminine energy of how someone was nurturing or taking care of the emotional side effects of it, making you feel bad or wrong for talking. Maybe you were just ignored by your family a lot, and you just weren't able to speak your mind or speak at all because no one paid attention to you, especially at family gatherings. Maybe it was family members telling you not to talk because it was like, oh, don't talk, you tell the truth too much, don't do that, and all those things. Maybe it was you coming out to your family with certain interests and them being like, oh, you can't be that due to religious values, or they just didn't like what you were. These things are shedding away finally. You're finally healing from these things. You're being more of who you need to be, and this inner child is no longer sucking that tit anymore. You know what I mean? It's not getting any milk from that energy. It's not there anymore. You're done with whatever chapter that. And I look over here, it says new chapter. I don't even mean to look over there, but again, it's something about this brand new chapter that's happening for you, about you're just breaking these shells. You're no longer letting these old cycles nurture you. You're no longer paying attention to this distorted energy that has been lingering around in the past. It's finally gone, and it's like it's been gone for a while, but it's been this work in progress where you've been back and forth with, what do I need to do, what do I have to do, all these things. Yeah, and again, it's like, it could also be like, I don't know, it's like even a fear of people turning on you, or people like judging you. A lot of people, like, when you really step out, when you leave the box that fear puts you in, and you start expressing who you are, you really start to find out that there's a lot more people who are like you, or like the same things as you. You're just so self-conscious and so aware. In fact, you're almost hyper vigilant is what I would call it. To the point of seeing things. It's like, oh, this is a taboo thing that I'm into. What if someone's not into that, and then I get in trouble for mentioning it? You don't have to be afraid of that anymore. Animosity reverse, flying monkey reverse, and surprise in reverse. There's not really a need to be afraid. The world is becoming more spiritual, so it's becoming more safe. I'm going to say the words more safe. I don't mean the way that comes off, but for a lack of better words at this moment, it's less taboo to talk about your spiritual practices. It's not as weird as you think it is. It's this nurturing of your inner child, focusing on the past and where you came from. You might even have like small town syndrome, where you grew up in a small town, and just everyone did the same fucking thing, and then here you were in your own little island, and then they made fun of you because you weren't doing what they were doing. All those things, like, it's all this that's shedding away. And you don't have to be afraid of people going around and talking bad about you. You don't have to be afraid of people. I mean, people are going to do what they want to do. It doesn't matter if they want to talk bad about you or good about you. However, it's just really, it's like you're paying less attention to that. You're paying more attention to who do I want to be, instead of, trying to play if no one knows about me, then I'll be fine. Instead of playing that game, you're allowing people to know who you are, and just whatever they have to say about you is how they want to feel. It's like it's like no more surprises almost. Like, and a lot of people, I feel like as well, there's some people who's been watching you, or a friend, like either friends or however, like people just around you that's not even going to be as surprised as you think they're going to be when you fully come out as who you are, whether that's spiritually, sexually, energetically, however, right? It doesn't matter. If people have just been kind of waiting on you to break out of that shell, there is a support group. There is someone, like people around you that's kind of waiting on something to evolve with you, or they've been watching this journey, which is why a lot of people kind of leave, because you, and this is one thing that we need to talk about as well, and I'll talk about it on a video, but a lot of times when you go through a spiritual process, whenever people leave you, a lot of people do that same thing. It's like going through depression. When you go through depression, you notice a lot of other people just kind of leave you because you have to do your own thing. A lot of people pick that up. A lot of people are not actually as blind or deaf to spirituality as you may think. And a lot of people just kind of leave you to it because they know that it's like, even though they don't practice spirituality, even though they don't want to subscribe to it or, be a part, be a part of it, quote unquote, they overstand how life-changing and dire it can be, and instead of projecting their own beliefs or making you feel so self-conscious, they remove themselves. So even though some people remove themselves for ignorant reasons or arrogant reasons, other people do it because they just want you to get to where you need to get. They don't want to get in your way. They don't want to bother you. And you might be seeing a lot of those people that didn't want to bother you come back to you, because not, and here's the big thing as well. When you change, people around you also energetically change. It's not just you changing. It's everything, and it's not every change is bad, you know what I mean? It's some people go through their own awakenings. They see you go through your process, and it's like, damn, how do I really feel? Do I really like my life? What's going on with all these things? And then they do their change as well. Like, there's so much fear within the spiritual conscious community, especially in the tarot scene, when you're doing all these readings, that people like to just skip over or not address, or weakly address. And we need to start actually talking about it as it fully is, because a lot of people do want to come back to make relationships. A lot of people do want to come back to rekindle friendships and to see who you are, and it's up to you if you want them back or not. Not everyone was doing something mean to you. This is the whole spiritual psychosis that people get stuck up in, where they think everyone's at them when it's not everyone. Most of the time it's you projecting and attacking other people because you're so lost that you don't want to trust anyone, so then you become even more defensive. That is a literal thing that happens. I've talked to people who've had that happen to them. I've gone through it myself a little bit personally. It's a thing. You have to understand it. There's not a need for all this fear. Even though it pops up because you had to be conscious of that fear in the first place, it's not something to take over you and manipulate everything to making you think everything's against you completely. And I feel like this is that healing where you've kind of realized where some relationships fell, even though they were not for your best interest. The reason they fell out wasn't necessarily a proper reason. It was more of a misunderstanding, which is perfectly fine. But at the same time, like, it's still up to you. Like, when people don't have a reason to be in your life, right? But when we're in this energy of shifting and changing, when we see someone who doesn't align with us, we sometimes will end up projecting bad energy onto them due to them not knowing who we are, because we don't even know who we are, because we're going through that metamorphosis as well, right? So overstanding that completely, that's one thing that could be very heavily happening right now for a lot of people, due to that fact. Like, coming just to the awareness of, oh, that person actually didn't do anything bad to me, but I didn't really want them in my life anyway. But because I was so dire and in need of someone close to me, I had to push them away. And the only way I could have done that is by a belief of something bad happening. You know what I mean? All of that stuff is like correlating. It's like getting back to the core of it, getting back to the, oh shit, all these things, the truth of it. And again, overstanding that doesn't mean something is wrong or bad. It's just you didn't know how to leave, and you were also in a defense mode, so you just had to bounce out. But it's really realizing that, and it's coming to that term of just seeing that the people that if people do come back, and it's still up to you, not pushing any negative energy, not being afraid, not screaming at the top of your lungs, being mature about it, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no fear that should be involved. If you don't want someone to come back, you just simply don't let them come back. It's as easy as that. As long as you don't take any steps to go towards them, they can't come towards you. As simple as that. If they come towards you and try to talk, you have every right just to say no and walk away. You know what I mean? Like, it's not as dire as it is, but the reason it's so dire, and I talk about it a lot again, especially within the spiritual trauma series, we're going to be going over it a lot. It's just indulging in that energy makes you fearful of those things coming back, and then when it does come back, it comes back because that energy is being read on, and then you engulf in it. And then now, since you're in that energy of, oh, someone's coming back, they already did come back energetically, and now they're messing with you energetically, physically, mentally and emotionally, and now you don't know what to do. It's all that stuff. It all collects into one thing. So it's like the separation that you've made from everything that you used to do when you were in attack mode, when you were in defense mode, when you were in these states of extreme panic that you were in. Now that you're separating yourself from those things, you're able to see things more clearly. You're able to break it down. You're healing yourself more. You're getting down to the basics of things, and it's a lot of less pressure. You might be feeling a lot more pressure when you release pressure. That's a thing. It's like, I don't know if anyone's done that, but have you ever like got gas or like butane in like your hand or something, or like you accidentally stick it in you or something? Like doing something of that nature, when the pressure is relieved, it still hurts. Or like being bloated, when you're bloated and all that gas leaves, it still hurts a little bit, right? It's that same energy. It's that same energy that you might be in a pressured situation where it's hurting because you're releasing all that pain, but it's not to put you back in fear. It's to show you how much you are holding on yourself. We do also have actual money. I feel like with the actual money, if this might be blockages that you had on your self-worth or on your creativity to allow you to create. Maybe you were afraid of someone stealing your ideas so much that then you stopped working on things. Now you're able to go back and start working on whatever you were doing so that you can start making these funds. Or maybe you were afraid of stepping out and doing something because, oh, I don't know how people are going to feel about this, but this internal healing that you're either going through now or deciding or trying to go through is going to free up that root chakra, sacral chakra connection so that you're able to remove the fears and limiting beliefs that come from the root chakra and free up and almost like bleach. I'm going to say the word bleach because that's what's coming through. And bleach your sacral, don't actually bleach yourself, please, but bleach the sacral chakra to where you're actually being more creative. This could even have to do with the fear of your own sacral chakra, the fear of libido or however is going through. Like maybe your sacral chakra just had a lot of activity and it's trying to show you like do something, create something, create. And it's going to bring in, it could be bringing in new business, bringing in new clients, I don't know what the word I'm trying to think of is. It just flipped my head. But creating more, doing things for money. This could even be charitable work. You not feeling like you can't do a charity because you're afraid of all these things. It's all about a form of transaction that's happening due to these blockages clearing up, due to this new mindset, due to this new understanding of what's going on and why things had to go the way that they did. Is there anything else, Spirit? There is. I mean, there it is. It says moving on, period. Moving on and blocked. Whatever has happened in the past is in the past. There is a moving on and a new evolution that's happening. People that you do not want to have access in your life do not have access to it at all. They might appear on your media from time to time. They might think about you. They don't have access to you. It doesn't matter what anyone would want to do. At the end of the day, you're no longer that wishy-washy character that wouldn't know if they wanted to do something or not. You now are in that energy of, I just, this is who I want in my life. This is who I don't want. This is what I want to do with my life. This is what I don't want to do. And a lot of this has to do with Mars being in retrograde. A lot of these struggles, especially if this struggles with work, has a lot to do with the Mars being in retrograde. Because it's going to be fighting you. It's going to be, what are you fighting for? Who are you becoming? It's the molting of yourself. And it's the reason why, again, it's so hard is because of the Mercury retrograde that we left earlier this year, where we were working on our communication and freeing up our throat chakra. Now that we're able to express more and do what we desire more, now the next challenge is actually putting in that physical work. Things aren't moving as quickly as you would like. Things aren't as receptive as you would wish them to be. But at the same time, that's part of the game. That's part of what you have to play. And it's about staying to it, blocking out those old fears of, oh, it's not going to work, all these things are not going to work, everything's going to fail, leaving those behind and really stepping towards the energy of moving on, of keep on moving, like moving forward, just keep swimming, what Dory said. I don't know why Finding Nemo popped up, but let's just go with it. But really just moving away from those past cycles. Even if something doesn't work, just being like, okay, well, that didn't work, let me do something different then. What else can I do? Instead of sitting there and worrying like, oh, things aren't working out and I don't know how to work, I don't know how to fix this, I don't know how to fix that. Instead of doing that, now you're in this energy, or should be learning how to work more with the energy of, this isn't working, so now what can I do to allow things to work? If this one thing isn't working, what do I need to do now? What can I do to get more attention? What can I do to bring in more energy that I'm desiring? What can I do to allow myself to free myself from these burdens that I'm stuck in? And you're moving along that path to where these problems are becoming more solutions for you. You're seeing them less as issues and less of things that are going bad and more of a positive, and seeing, oh shit, well, I already have all these things. How can I use these things that I have to move forward? How can I use these things that I have? I just heard generational curse. So again, this could literally be like you've seen family members, and this could as well be like the family thing. Maybe your family tried to run businesses or tried to be entrepreneurs or have some sort of independence, and then they failed. So then they were projecting their failure onto you because they decided to go along with the matrix and get their 9 to 5 and not worry about what they wanted to do. And since you were trying to get your business up, they were like, oh, you're not going to get that, and tried to shame you to keep you from doing that. You know what I mean? It could literally be one of those generational traumas, or even like you seeing your parents struggle a lot, so then you think that you have to struggle. It's these like ingrained childhood traumas that aren't really talked about as traumas. They're just labeled as generational curses, but really it's a trauma that affects you, because when you see your parents struggle, when you see all these things struggles at these ages, now that's stuck in your mind subconsciously without you really even knowing, once I hit this age or once I become an adult, everything's going to be a struggle, when that's not always the case. That doesn't have to be the case. But because no one's there to tell you, consistently tell you, I should say, throughout the ages, throughout your years, it becomes harder and harder to break that boundary. It becomes more of a struggle because now you have to go through that struggle to see how to leave it, rather than turning back and turning away from it. But that's what's changing right now. This is a whole like integral changing of you, how you're seeing things, how you're inputting and outputting things, and really allowing yourself to see what's going on. Maybe the whole family business thing didn't work out because there wasn't an exact plan. Maybe their families aren't the best planners. They just like doing things sporadically, and then you caught on to doing things sporadically because you didn't really have a choice but to do that, right? Now you're in the energy of like, what, I need a plan, I need to do all these things. Maybe you were in a family that was over planning and over comfort, like overprotective, and they're like, oh, I don't want you, you know what I mean? Well, I think overprotective is the wrong term, and I'm struggling with that because I'm gonna fight myself every day when it comes to certain terms. But for a lack of better term, overprotective, and they plan too much. They have too much of a plan, and then you sat there and stressed out about everything needing to be X, Y, Z in exact order. And then when you're thrown into the chaos of life, it's like, oh fuck, my plans aren't working. So now what do I do? Now you need to throw in some spontaneous. It's working with the opposite element that you're learning how to do. Is that balance of fire and water that you're kind of working with. Though I don't know how else to explain it. But that's what's coming through, is a lot of working with both sides. Even though you like a strict, solid plan, you now are getting used to things just being catawonky. and that being okay, and you being like, well, since this isn't working, I can go ahead and do this. Or maybe if you don't like making a plan, now you're in the energy of, well, maybe I do need more of a plan. Even if it's not a full-fledged plan, I at least need a few steps to walk forward and do something with. And I feel like that's what's happening a lot for a collective, especially if you're new to running a business. You know what I mean? Like, let's say you're the first person in your family to actually have a business, right? Like, let's say you're doing it and you're the first, well, it even will go this far as well. You're the first person in your family to run a business without support, without familial support, without business, what are they called? What is it called when you have, like, I don't remember those people. Investors, thank you. When you have or you're the first person to have no business adventures, investors, goodness gracious, and you're just jumping into it immediately. And this is the adventure, yeah, you're right. But you're like the first one to do it in this particular way. So now you're having to carve out all these paths for yourself. And you might be in a situation where your family just doesn't want to support you, or you don't really have a family to support you, right? And you're just doing things on your own. And even if this business isn't like an actual business, your life is a business at the end of the day, because you have to operate and run it yourself. You are the manager, the creator of your life. You tell people when they're allowed in and out. You hire friends, you fire friends. You let them in, you let them go. All these things, right? Even if you don't run a business, think of your life as a business. It gives you more of a responsibility, allows you to see what you need to do, allows you to see what you can do, and who needs to leave and who can stay, who's good for your business, who's good for you, all these things of that nature, right? So again, even if you don't have like a business that you're running, take this as your life, take this as you running your life, like because that, I want to try and get this message out to as many as possible when it comes to this, because you know how I am with it. I haven't done a reading on live in a minute, so I'm a little shaky, but we're good. A lot of new energy, I'm not even gonna lie. But it's all good. And it's like, it's the anxiety, but it's not like fear anxiety. It's like new thing anxiety. It's like, oh fuck, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm stuck. It's not that you're stuck somewhere. It's just like, I just don't know what to do, because I feel like I've done everything from the past, and now I just don't know what to do now, because the same things are happening, and even though they don't feel bad, they're still happening. Right? It's that new energy. It's that, oh shit, something's new's happening, like something's changing, and you can feel it. And it's very good, because it's no longer like fear. It's just that anxiety of what's happening next. I can call it even antsy. Like, you might be just feeling antsy, out of patience even, you know what I mean? Or just overly excited, like you're doing something new, and it's like, oh, I can't fucking wait to keep working on it, but you don't know how to work on it. It's all this. I like this a lot. This is a lot of like good energy, and it's getting me like a little bit unstable, but it's also like not bad. It's like, don't be so hard, don't be so stiff, don't be so hard struck on yourself. Allow yourself to let yourself loose, is how it's coming through. Yeah, we have hello reverse. There's a lot of like, you might even be keeping yourself closed. You might not be telling anyone about what you're doing. You're not talking to people. Like, you could just be going ghost on people. Or you're about to say something to someone, or do something, or have some sort of action that someone's not going to be ready for. This could even be you needing to talk about something that you've never really been sure about how to talk about, that you're just about to jump out the gate with and start talking about. But again, like, I'm even looking at the 43 on the card. So this is something you've been waiting to do. This has been something that's been happening in the background for a fat minute. It's been something you've been waiting to do. Like, you've been planning, you've been doing everything for it. This is just the time to, like, you're leaving that waiting energy. But you haven't really been getting the signs or hearing much from your spiritual team of how to move forward. And it's because they just want to see you walk through the door, all the way through the door. Like, the idea that you receive and agree to is 1 foot through the door. The second foot is actually doing those ideas. And that's like what you're doing right now. And it's like I'm even seeing, like, in the Akashic records, like, you're opening up the door to the Akashic records, basically, to your Akashic records. And it's like, I'm like, I could do all sorts of shit now. And now that I have more of my power in me, fuck, like, what can I do? I know I can manifest things in my life. I know that I can create my reality, the dreams that I like. what do I want to do first? You know what I mean? Like there's so much to do, but what do I want to do first? But you know what you want to do first. It's just that all that anxiety, all I'm gonna call it anxiety because it really is. It's excitement. It's the same energy, but it's excitement. It's all that same stuff that's coming through, and it's like I want to talk about it, but I can't. It's one of those. It's just that energy that is so present, and I love it because it's a lot of growth. It's like you're done. You know when you hit your growth spurt and all of a sudden you come back and you're like the tallest person in class, or you see the tall. It's that energy right there. You had no idea about all this growth until like recently, and now it's hitting you in the face, and now you're like, well, what the fuck? Like since I can do my life, since I can do all these things now, what do I want to do first? And instead of being in that procrastination energy of sitting around and twiddling your thumbs and thinking, it's like you just want to take action. You want to do something. It's like you no longer are desiring it. You want it. You're going out and getting it because it's like I want this. Like let's go. Like if I just do this one thing, the rest will come in due time. I just need to do this one thing and stop worrying about X Y Z. X Y Z will come at the end. It's fine. It's like what I'm feeling a lot. But it's a beautiful energy because it's again it's all this growth, it's all this work that's been put into you, put into your business, put into your character, however this is for you. It's I don't know, and this could even be like maybe you just haven't been telling the close people around you, like your friends or however who you are. You've been afraid of doing certain things and you're just allowing yourself to like whatever. If they don't understand, they don't understand. They'll ask me if they really have a question about it, and since they already know who I am, they know that I'm not doing anything out of ill will. It's like speaking a new language to someone, right? You know for a fact that if you speak a different language in front of someone, I'm going to use this as an example. It's like you're speaking a new language. You're trying to learn French, and your friend doesn't know French. So instead, I don't know how to say goodbye in French. So this is a bad example. But you go and say goodbye to that person in French, right? When you leave a call or something, or when when they leave your house or however. They don't question what you are going to say because it's like, well, I know they're not a bad person, so I know they're not cussing at me, I know they're not doing something weird, but yet these thoughts were kind of in the back of your head of, oh, well, they're not going to know what I'm going to say, and what if I have to explain them, or what if I say it wrong or whatever. It's like you're putting into practice what you're wanting. You're removing yourself from being so self-aware and self-conscious, like hyper-conscious and hyper-aware, and you're stepping into more authenticity. It's like, I know who I want to be. I already know how I'm going to be seen. It doesn't, who cares? If someone sees me in a bad way, cool. Someone sees me in a good way, cool. Good. Whatever. Like, you're living again. And this could have a lot to do with like your spirituality, your practices, whatever you do. This could even have conflict, like people being afraid of like, oh, I do magic, or I do XYZ in the spiritual scene, or I practice hoodoo or whatever the heck, whatever you do, right? And you're afraid people are gonna look at you and like demonize you and witch hunt you. It's that witch trial trauma is gone. It's in the past. You're no longer scared of who you are. You're no longer afraid of opinions, and it's like, I have to say it that way. You're no longer afraid of opinions no longer scare you. And it's a thing, like people get scared of opinions. It's a thing that people really have to work through, because it's like, well, shit, how do people feel about you? Well, worry about how you feel about you first, and then worry about all that stuff. But it's like all these things that you've been avoiding to do, all these things that haven't been nourishing you are leaving, and then all the things that you've been avoiding, all the things that you desire to do but just don't, you're kind of you're facing them finally. You're filling up these empty parts of you. You're filling up the voids inside of you. Yeah, crossroads reverse because of this decision that you've made. You finally made a decision, and it's like, I'm gonna say finally, because it's less of you making the decision and more of you putting in action to that decision, and staying diligent with it, staying confident in it, being consistent with it. And you've made that decision and you're going with it. And even though it's a little shaky at first, I got the 6 of Swords in my head, so it might be a little shaky going through the waters, removing these old boundaries and stuff. You're still moving forward. You're still getting past all this stuff. Um, and it's beautiful because you're finally being you, and it's like different parts of you are showing, is what I mean. You might even be discovering new parts of yourself, getting new passions, feeling more passionate about certain things and less passionate about others. Again, but this is a rebirth with Anubis coming out in Merkaba. This is the way, like, the master teachers that watch over you. You're the spirit guides, the ancestors that even come from art that inspires you, which those are a thing. Whenever you cry and listen to music, it's because the spirit that made that music is communicating with you in some form of way and helping you detox by letting you realize deeper meanings. All sorts of spirits are around you. All sorts of, and that's just how it is in life. It's really just how it is down here. It's like all the inspiration that you've took from people, from places, things, songs, arts, buildings, seeing a ladybug land like a blade of grass, even all those spirits, all those energetic connections that are happening, they're inspiring you to move forward, and it's showing you this rebirth. It's allowing you to grasp onto new parts of you. And it's like you have so much communication. And again, that's probably why as well all this energy feels so high up and antsy, because all this energy has finally been heard in the correct way that it's been trying to talk to you, and now things are allowed to be moving. And even if you're stuck within the how do I move forward, this is what's happening with you, is they're trying to show you how to move forward, but you're acclimating to all that new energy, because these are higher frequencies we're talking about. These could be ascended masters, these could be teachers, angels, archangels, all sorts of things, passed over loved ones, family, even like passed over pets, just past buyers even. But it's like, I don't know. I'm getting Casper. I don't know why I'm getting, like, you remember how Casper had those two like older brothers that were kind of dicks? It's giving like you were just followed around your whole life by the two brothers, and now you finally made it to like Casper's. What was it? This what was it? The School of Scares? Was that the school he went to? I swear I had it on DVD when I was a child. But I'm getting this whole thing of like Casper and the School of Scares. We are finally just meeting all these, for lack of a better term, because every time I talk to someone, they say, you're meeting a bunch of weirdos. Like, everyone that I've met who I've talked to recently, they've all said, yeah, I'm a weirdo too. And it's like, okay, I guess we're all weirdos up in this joint today. So I'm just going to say it as a light heart term. Like, you're just meeting a bunch of people who finally get you. And you're no longer around the ones that are afraid to step out. And even the ones that you meet that are afraid to step out and be who they really are, they still support you. They're just not as comfortable as you are in your shoes, to say the least. But yeah, this is just a warning. This is just your warning and letting you know that a cycle is over. Like, it's right there. Death and cycle. Cycle, death, warning. Like, it's over. The cycle's over. It's ending. It's going bye-bye. It's transmuting. It's translucing, however you want to say it. The angels are around you, and they want you to know that you're safe. Do not compare whatever's happening now to something in the past. It is a new thing. It is a new energy. Please be. A lot of you all are aware of it. But whenever I say, like, please be aware of it, it's not talking to y'all. I'm talking to the ones that are struggling with this new energy. It is new. It is not fear. It's excitement. It's going to be fear because they resonate the same energy, vibration, of course. But it's this new energy, and it's being overwhelmed. It's like getting on a roller coaster for the first time. That excitement is a little bit of fear, but because you're so excited, it becomes a fear, and vice versa. It's all those. It's just an amalgamation. And you're just getting more accustomed, getting more attuned to it. And that's all that's going on. You are protected. Your angels are around you. This is not a past cycle. That past cycle is ending. And it's just to show you the other side of the rainbow, right? It's there to show you what's really about to happen for you is going to be for the best of you. Even if something doesn't look like it's working out, it's still happening. And this is what they're trying to communicate to you. What's going on? Yeah, don't get trapped in your emotions. They're wanting you to know not to get trapped in your emotions. They're trying to talk to you. Maybe you need to speak about it. Maybe you need to talk out loud or talk to someone or however, just to get rid of it, just to get rid of those feelings. Writing it down on a piece of paper or however, writing it in your notes, doing whatever you need to do. Just getting it out of your system, talking about it. Why do you feel trapped? Removing these hurt emotions. Even with the fact of like when you do finally take these steps, the feeling of regret and guilt might pop up because it's like, damn, I waited this long to do all these things that I could have done. Why did I wait so long? Feel those emotions. Always feel them. They're showing you for a reason, but don't get trapped in them. Don't allow them to drag you back down. Allow them to be like, you know what? I was only that way because I was scared, because I couldn't see the path clear enough, because there were some lessons that I needed to learn before I could get to where I'm at. Just allow yourself, nurture yourself in that energy. But it's, again, it has a lot to do with the throat chakra, the wind, your heart, your throat, how you express yourself. So what else is going on? Is there anything else in this deck that we need to pull out? Spirit, I'm gonna shuffle 2 more times. Can we not? Okay. One more time. We're not. Anyway, read in between the lines about who you are. Look at the deeper meanings of who you are. Look at what you desire to do. Look at what you want to grow. Look at where you need to look at the light situation of your work. Look at what brings you happiness with your work. You might have earth placements or air placements in your moon or sun or your Pluto, however, but this is just a mastery of yourself. You've gone through the rebirth. Now it's time to master this new version of you. Now that you've already gone through all the realizations that you need to go through, time to master it. And again, I'll always say this, healing is not always sitting down and doing shadow work. A lot of healing comes from actually doing actions on the physical, actually moving forward with things that you're desiring to do. Healing, and that's the hard part about healing. It's like, because it's like whenever I threw up my meniscus, and able to heal my meniscus, I had to do stretches with it. I had to move with it so it could heal, so I could get its strength back. Allowing yourself to do that as well with yourself is very important at this time, because you're ready. You're just ready, is how I have to say it. You're ready. You've been ready for a while, but now it's really time to know how ready you are. Now it's time to truly show who you are and what you're standing on. And even if it's a baby step, that's more than what it used to be. You know, a few baby steps will take you further than anything, I'm telling you. But again, this is a rebirth for how you nurture yourself. It's a rebirth for your key. The divine feminine energy in you is your key. How you feel about something is the key to whatever you want. You got to be careful what doors you're going to open, because it's the key that can open all sorts of doors. You know what I mean? It's like getting too excited. It's like when a dog gets excited and they run around, they end up breaking something because they're jumping around too much. That's what they decided to open with their excitement. You know, they could, help it, but it's an example. But be careful what you're letting your emotions open. Don't let your emotions open the door to fear without having a flashlight in your hand so you can see through what's going on. Don't allow yourself to open a door of excitement without having some form of shade on you, so that you don't get blinded by that light. Always, always, always just look at things as with the opposite spectrum, so that you're not getting blinded or lost by things. You know, looking into the light will only blind you after a while. You don't want to get blinded by that. You don't want to allow yourself to have a false sense in what you're doing. So just be very careful with the keys that you're getting, how you're opening the doors, And again, when it comes to your passions, when it comes down to your passions, your work ethics, how you're going to talk, how you're going to react, how you're going to be, allow yourself to see everything when it comes down to it. Because where you're going is a whole new level. Don't get too cocky, but at the same time, don't stay so stagnant. Things are moving quickly. They're moving a lot. They're moving heavily quickly. Heavily and quickly. Excuse me. So be aware of that. Be aware of how your life is changing. Be aware of the environmental changes that's happening around you, the people around you, how they're changing, and how you're changing them and how they're changing you. Everything. Pay attention to those things and move accordingly, because you're in your power. This is the era where a lot of people are finally stepping into their power, where they're finally taking charge of what they need to do in life so that they can actually leave these cycles. No longer leaving the cycles spiritually or energetically, but now leaving them on the physical so that everything that they are wanting within the spiritual can come towards them. You know that always as well you're heavily protected. You're not going to go a day without being protected. You're always going to be protection. You're always going to be protected. It's only you who can remove yourself from that protection. If you feel like you, and again, here's air on the bottom. If you need to speak about something, you're protected to speak about it. If you need to express yourself in a certain way, you are protected enough to do so. Don't give up your protection due to external circumstances. Allow yourself to know that everything is working in your favor. All you have to do is continue working with that energy. You have to continue working with it, not against it. Go with the flow, not against it. Always. I feel like getting these animal cards. I didn't get the other ones. That's what I was missing on the desk. I knew something was wrong. Just couldn't tell what. We're gonna get these animal cards out. We're gonna see what they have to say. And then we're going to get the Archangel Power. I know they're right there. I'm looking at them. What the fuck? I was like, I think I left the other animal cards somewhere. No, they're right there. I was looking at them. They're just in the wrong position. But I'll get the Archangel Power cards after this as well. I'm going to shuffle one more time because that was a lot. And then we'll be done. We'll take the bottom, sure. We'll take the bottom. But we have Frog, which is transition. This is a powerful time of change. You are being called to connect with the world of emotions and feminine energies. You may also need to engage in a process of cleansing, whether it's physical, emotional, spiritual, or energetic. Cougar, which is leadership. You have come into your own power. Now is time to take the lead of a situation and be strong. Using the power of intentions, be clear with what your purpose is and define where you're heading. Horse, which is freedom. You must break out of any limitations that are holding you back, whether they are self-imposed or put on you by another person or society. Break free and run faster towards your dreams. Scorpion, I love this so much. Scorpion, new beginnings. You are invited to instigate change, but you are also being warned that this transformation may be radical. Get rid of everything in your current life that can prevent you from improving. Based on this principle, destroy before rebuilding, you are promised a beneficial rebirth. Dragon, which is passion. The dragon is a reminder of your strong will and fiery personality. It is also a symbol of passion and fire. You are being asked to practice self-control and be cautious that your passion does not lead you into trouble. Deer, with gentleness. This is a reminder to be more gentle with yourself and others. The grace, sensitivity, and gentleness of this spirit animal echo the qualities brought forth when living from the heart. Panther, which is guidance. It is time to release your passions, live your dreams, and begin a new chapter in your life. If you are encouraged to expand your awareness, eliminate fears, and become a whole new person. You are guided and protected. Hippopotamus, which is exploration. If you become bored with your life, you have the creative power to stir things up and revitalize everything. You can do this by starting new projects, setting new goals, and making spiritual connections. And last but not least, Bat with transition. You must pay attention to the signs around you. The transition may seem threatening at first, but you must let go of old habits and patterns that no longer serve your higher calling. It would only hinder your growth. Hold on. Thank you. Thank you, animals. Thank you, animals. We're going to go ahead and get the angels out. And then after that, we be done. But I'm going to start going live a lot more. I've just been doing so many things, trying to keep energy down, going through my own changes energetically. Makes it harder to be live. It takes a lot of energy to go live. That's why a lot of people don't do it. The ones that are starting to go live, I salute you, because this shit's not actually, it's a lot harder than you think. It's a lot of energy. But I had to acclimate myself a little bit and get into a new flow of things. But since I'm now in that flow, we are good and stationed to do more lives. So that's going to be fun. At some point, we may do a live class, but that is just an idea from now. Because I would like to have a strict, not a strict, but like a direct subject to talk about, so I'm not all over the place. Because you know how it will get. I'm gonna shuffle 2 more times though, angels. It never fails. I'm gonna let that be a PSA. If you ever are trying to read cards and nothing's falling out, tell them that you're only gonna shuffle a certain amount of times. I swear it's gonna work every time. Every video I have up here, I have over 1,000. Every video that I go, okay, I'm only gonna shuffle X amount of times, they throw out cards. If you have trouble getting cards, just say that. I swear it's gonna work every time. I have I have so much proof on this channel. It's insane. So even if you're trying to get your daily cards and nothing's coming out, just say, I'm gonna shuffle only 2 more times. And they're gonna be like, okay, I'll get you out then. I don't know why, you just gotta ask sometimes, you know? But the King of Gabriel, generous, inspirational, dramatic, and driven. Keep your eyes on the big picture, leave the details to others. Experience that leads to success and genuine concern for others. Archangel Jeremiel with the wheel. New beginnings, end of delays, a change in direction that offers happiness. Archangel Metatron with the chariot. Determination and self-control, career advancement and acknowledgement of success by others. The Knight of Gabriel. Confident, enthusiastic, courageous, and charismatic. Time to take action, great passion for a cause, instinctively knowing just what to do. Archangel Joaphael, which is decision. Release yourself from that which holds you back, a need to detox, unnecessary worry based on a lack of self-confidence. I got lost in the words. The Five of Michael. The situation doesn't serve you. Release your attachment to the outcome and consider taking a more uplifting approach. Archangel Raziel with Epiphany. Joy through spiritual growth. Be a light to others. Answers that come through meditation. Archangel Raguel with Justice. Fight for justice and equality. Rulings made in your favor and don't give up. The Nine of Raphael. Make a wish. Dreams become reality. A joyful time of life. Archangel Sandalphon with Divine Guidance. The search for meaning in life. Consider an alternate approach and surround yourself with wise teachers or friends. Or both, honestly. The Three of Ariel. Do what you love, a great time of personal growth in your career or artistic endeavors, working with others in a cooperative manner. And last but not least, the Five of Raphael. Everything happens for a reason. Release regret and embrace the opportunities for happiness. Search for the silver lining. And that is what the angels meant to say. So thank you, angels, for being here. Thank you, God, Mother, Father, for being here. Thank you to all the galactical families, passed over loved ones, spirits and souls respectfully, and thank you, collective, as well, for being here. Thank you all so much for all the support. I'm greatly appreciative of all of them, of all the support of all of them, okay? But truly and wholly, I do love each and every single one of you. Thank you for all the support. But as always, everything's in the description. If you're interested in bracelets, you can go to the description, go to Spirit Order, and use code SLIBER20 for 20% off. If you're interested in any of my services, readings, books, healings, howevers, whatevers, you can email me or use the order form and I'll get you set up that way. Regardless, thank you all so much for all the support, the likes, comments, shares, subscribes, donations, whether they're energetic or financial. I appreciate them tenfold, fully and wholly. I love you all so much, to the moon and back, tenfold and forever, though. If you're interested in the new series, and thank you as well for the support with the new series as well. I'm glad that it's getting positive feedback and it's helping. I'm writing 2 scripts at once, which I was afraid of that happening at some point, and it happened a lot sooner than I thought, but I'm working on 2 scripts at once. So expect a video later tonight. It's gonna take me a while because my laptop's not very good at rendering videos, and that just takes a minute, but we'll get them up regardless. It is not an issue. But thank you all so much. If you're interested in that, we have playlists. We have playlists for the classes. We have playlists for the spiritual healings. And however, just go to the playlist channel if you need any extra support. It's all there. But I'm just glad to be here to help you all out with the healing journey, and to walk beside you all on this journey, because it is a crazy one for sure, but we'll get through it fully and wholly. But I love you all so much. to the moon and back, tenfold and forever. I love you all. I can't stop saying it. Why? I literally, there's not enough time in the world to tell you all how much I do appreciate every single thing that you do. I always, like, I get so stuck up on saying it over and over again. But you all need to know, like, it comes from the bottom of my heart. I literally love each and every single one of you so much. I cannot stop expressing it. That's how much I do. I truly, truly do. I love you all so much. I'm gonna say one last time. To the moon and back, tenfold and forever. I will see you later.